Alright guys, so we're back, and today is the end of Tuesday. This is the first day that we have gotten here since we left the weekend, and we have finished the front walls completely and gotten them all raised up. So these three rooms right now are completely framed up. The only thing we have to do, they're all pretty much just tacked in place at the moment. All of the walls that run off of the back wall right here have all been concrete glued down in place right now, and they have just one toggle bolt holding all of them up at the moment, and we have all the fronts just temporarily attached right now to give us our outline. But as you can see, everything lined up nicely, and all the rooms are now completely outlined, so you have a size kind of feel for the size of the rooms. What we're going to be doing today is we are going to be having some additional help come over, and we're going to be squaring off all these, making sure they're completely square, and mounting all of these to the wall, and mounting all of the framing down to the ground into the concrete for just added stability. And once that is done, we're going to get working on framing out these other two rooms. Now we have the two vertical walls already made up. One of these will be the end of the drying room, which should sit somewhere around right here, and then the other one will be for the clone room, which should end somewhere around here. And then once we get this outlined and we get those walls set up and mounted down, then we'll go ahead and we're going to start building out the front walls as well. Excuse me, but we do need to pick up some more lumber and some other supplies before we'll be able to finish that. So today we're going to be, like I said, squaring all these off and making our outlines. So we'll be back once we get everything all outlined and ready to go. Alright guys, so we're getting ready to lay out the additional two rooms on this side. But as we got to laying it out, I realized the true reality is that I would only have about 3.5 feet between the mother room, which would be on this side, and the drying room, which would back up to it. And because each wall was offset by a little over 1.5 feet, and this is to allow for airflow for the air-cooled hoods, which will be running through this, but I'll go over all that later. So the nice thing about it is that we were able to equally space out the three 12x12 rooms and have a little over 1.5 feet on each side. So we have equal spacing there. But because it's only spaced out that far, when the 12-foot room that would be coming off along this wall with a front-facing door here, it means I would have to kind of walk into like a little alleyway right here to get into here. And this is going to be one of the rooms that I'm in the most because this is my mother room. So kind of decided to change the plan a little bit. So what we're going to do is orient them on this side, like this direction here. So we're going to go ahead. We've already gone ahead and marked everything out on the ground using the string chalk, or whatever you want to call it. So we have our lines going across, and these we already marked out. We also used the concrete glue and got them held in place. So we have our two vertical walls here. So we're going to go ahead and start getting everything ready to be secured down. So the other advantage to this is that for where the electrical is going to be ran, it's going to make my life a lot easier, and I'm going to be able to add kind of a cool little feature that I was not initially going to have in here before. So I will go over that when we get to it. So I'm going to get back to work here. We're going to go ahead and square all these up, and we will be back when farther. Alright guys, so we're back now, and it may not look like a whole lot has changed, but actually quite a bit has. All these walls are in and official now, and we have started the shearing process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this to California Grow and have them explain some of the more details about the framing of this for you guys, and then we'll go from there.
What up YouTube? California Growing here. VarnDizzle 125's channel, feeling like a baller. I'm going to go over some of the framing aspects with you guys. Pretty simple shit, but if you don't know what you're doing, it can help out a lot. So first things first, all the studs are 16 on center. So you start at the end and you measure every 16 inches and make a mark, and that's where you set your studs. And then you do it On the top plate, same thing, double top plate up there just for added support and because it's code. So double top plate wraps all the way around, 16 on center studs all the way around. Pretty simple stuff. We subfloor glued all of the pressure treated down after we stood the walls, and then put 3/8 anchor bolts in on the top, bottom, and middle. And we also shot in pins, and they're kind of randomly done on this wall. We didn't really decide an equal amount of pins to shoot in when we did this wall, but we got it calced out, so I'll show you guys what that is. Just these are all loads, got gunpowder in them, so they're shots, 27 caliber. These are stage 5, which are the most powerful shot you can get. And the reason we did that is because this concrete is not green at all. It has been here for probably 10 years. Well, not 10 years, but a long time. This concrete's hard as can be. So you got to get the highest stage for that. But they load into the bottom of the gun right there. And it's pretty simple. Nail goes in like that. Put it in here, push down, and pull the trigger. But don't do too many in a row because that shit can start hurting. Anyway, so all the corners, as you can see here, they have a double corner. So this right here is for the shear, and then this right here is for the support. So as the shear wraps around, has a nice edge to nail on. All the shear is nailed to code. 6 inches on center, on the perimeter, all the way around, and then 12 inches on center through all the middle. But pretty simple stuff. I mean, if you're going to do this at home, make sure, like this, when we were laying them out, I forgot to add the nailing edges, so had to come in and retro this 2x4 now. But we have a nailing edge for the tech shield that we're going to be adding in. And as you can tell, this shit's bulletproof. So getting ready to finish up all the shear, and then we will be installing the doors when the shear is done. And then we'll be putting the roof on. So in the next video I'll explain the roof a little more, but it's going to be 2x6s laid on edge with a rim all the way around, and they're going to be set every 2 feet. And then another thing to consider if you're going to do this is we ordered 10-foot sheets of plywood, but I only built the walls to the top of the top plate to be 9 foot 6.5. So now that shear sticks up an extra 5.5 inches over the top, and what that does is when I come in and set my 2x6s in, and 2x6s are actually only 1.5 by 5.5 for those of you that don't know, but they'll sit exactly flush when they're laid on edge with the top of the plywood up there. And they'll wrap all the way around, and then we'll anchor them all to the wall here, come back around to this side, and we'll, every 2 feet, put another one in, cross it to the other side, and we'll have a roof. So pretty simple stuff. Make sure you do a lot of bracing if you're going to do this, as you can see here. The bracing helps keep everything level and square, and we like that, because if you start out with something square and stand it, that stuff can move on you a lot. So stand it, secure it to the floor, and then brace it by just nailing the 2x4 to the top there, and then on the bottom plate down here, the pressure treated, pushing this 2x4, pushing or pulling the 2x4 whatever way you want to level out the side edge of the wall, and then putting a nail into the bottom plate down there. But this is it. You know, we've made quite a bit of progress considering VarnDizzle works from 6:30 to 3:30 Monday through Friday, and I work from 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, so we haven't been able to get in here too much after work. This is really just 2 weekends of work, and by the end of tomorrow, this whole side should be sheared, and we'll either be working on the roof or finishing up these 2 rooms. So I'm going to pass it back on to VarnDizzle. Check out my channel, guys.
Alright guys, so that should give you guys a little bit of technical info for any of those of you who are looking to you know, head down a similar road or any type of you know, doing any type of construction yourself. So we will be back with the next update, guys. So till then. That's how we roll, sitting on the fucking roof like a badass. Little bit more What up, guys? And we're back. So we're going to basically call it a weekend now. This is the end of weekend number 2 of progress. Unfortunately, like we said before, we're both really busy during the week, and so we really only get to work on it during the weekends. But it's been pretty successful, and everything, all the hard work and all the measurements and everything are all out of the way now, so it's pretty much all just quick and easy from here on out. As you can see, we've started shearing up. We got one wall pretty much done and the front plate on this guy done. And we're starting laying out other pieces for the additional rooms. And you'll see that all the the framing for the roof is all being put in place and is all mounted up for this room right here. And we're just going to continue ahead and knock that out on the rest of this. And we'll go over the rest of the details as we finish up the construction, and that'll be in the next week's video. So we should be wrapping this thing up here pretty soon. It's starting to come together. We've picked up the rest of our material over here. We have the rest of our shearing for the outsides and the roof, our 2x6s for all the roofing, the 2x4s for the additional walls for these 2 rooms right here, and the tech shield we've all picked up. And as you can see, it's extremely reflective, and this is what we're going to be lining the inside of all of the grow rooms along this wall down here with. So yeah, it's coming along pretty good. So we'll be back with another update next week. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week, guys. Peace out.